let me know if you want to see a video on that one. I'm weirdly down for it. So, yeah, I really wanted to give it a shot. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and everyone non-binary. I'm the SomnolentMonk, but you can call me Monk. Today we're doing a run of Batman Arkham Origins' I Am the Knight achievement, which, in case you missed the main review video I did, is for completing the difficulty I Am the Knight, where the game is much harder due to increased amounts of special enemies, a lack of counter indicator for combat encounters, and the biggest challenge is, if at any point we get a game over, the entire run resets. And before we get started, I will be covering the main story in this video, so if you're interested in playing Arkham Origins, this is your spoiler warning. Our story begins at Blackgate Prison, as Black Mask and Killer Croc are wreaking havoc trying to escape. We as Batman must fight our way through the prison until we reach the roof for a big fight against Croc. The Croc fight wasn't too bad. As long as you keep an eye on when Croc is going to swing, you can dodge it easily and take out the thugs with him. Then finish with a stun and beatdown, which I'm okay with. Seeing as he's the tutorial boss, the fight doesn't need to be anything crazy, just enough to teach you the mechanics. After Croc is defeated, we make our way back to the Batcave, saying hi to Alfred as we load up Black Mask's latest vlog. This time he's taken the Mr. Beast way of thinking and is planning on rewarding $50 million to the first person to kill Batman. Now there's 7 assassins after him. And for the first 20 minutes or so, the game takes it easy on you, giving introductions and tutorials for everything you need to know, only ramping up after triangulating Penguin's position aboard the final offer, one of Penguin's ships frozen in place at the Gotham harbor. As we arrive, we're immediately shot at by snipers, lowering our health before even getting started. But despite the shaky start, we survive, and make our way into the ship. And the combat at the start was relatively simple, basic combat. But that's until we reach the main room of the final offer and the electrocutioner fight? Which, if you've played before, you know it ends in one hit and is somehow the last time you actually fight Electrocutioner. But the actual fight here is the big combat encounter in this room. Immediately I realized this was going to be rough as I saw the martial artist enemies. Ow. Yeah, I really don't like martial artists. The martial artists are incredibly tricky to take down on I Am the Knight. They're the only enemy type to counter Batman, and if you're not paying attention, can hit you twice in short succession. About halfway through the fight, I realized that it was not looking good. I'd taken a lot of unnecessary damage and took some time to reset real quick.
Okay, do not end this run with... Okay.
That's right. I died and all the 50 minutes I played were erased. And before we get into the second attempt, I wanted to bring up a tactic that some people have used to beat this mode. See, if you take a bunch of damage early on or just don't like how a particular attempt is going, you can actually save and quit to the main menu and then load back in, as a way to kind of cheat death and keep your run going. And I didn't want to do that. At least, as long as I kept making progress. So, I took a brief second to think about what went wrong, and we started again. This time, skipping everything we could until we made it back to where we were. We get back to the main room, another kick to the executioner, and we start up the fight that took us out last time. Making it halfway, but with a lot more martial artists surviving than the first time. One hit from death from the relentlessness of the martial artists. Almost dying again, we begin to track down the Penguin to get some answers. One more tricky fight in the casino, and a stealth section that I completely forgot about apparently, where I may or may not have sent a man into the Shadow Realm.
There we go.
Let's go.
Oh.
But after questioning Batman's one rule, we make it to the Deathstroke fight. And I felt confident going into it. At the end of the main review video, you can actually see when I got the achievement for beating the Deathstroke fight without failing a single counter. Which was also the first achievement I got in Origins in over 11 years. And the fight wasn't too bad. A lot of getting a few punches in and then evading over Deathstroke until we can get the beatdowns in. Only really starting to worry about him when he starts chucking propane tanks at you like some kind of high-tech Donkey Kong. It's honestly a really fun and cinematic fight though, and one of my personal favorites from this game. After wrapping up and getting the remote claw, we find out that Black Mask may have been killed in his apartment at Lacey Towers, and that we need to investigate the crime scene. After letting ourselves in, we discover that a mysterious man broke in and tried to kill Black Mask, killing his girlfriend and Black Mask's body double. That man going by the name of the Joker. Now it's a matter of heading over to the police department to search for a DNA match. But first we head back to the Batcave to get the concussion detonator, and more importantly, to give Alfred a hug. On our way to the GCPD, we first have to get through the armed guards and a few combat sections, which despite the multiple armored enemies, wasn't terrible. I'm not sure if I'm getting better, or just getting craftier about taking them out early. Once we're done with another short stealth section, we make it to the cell block. The first of the two fights here goes well. Well, at least it went better for me than this guy. Okay. A little touch and go, but this is actually not the hardest encounter here. Oh? Dear God, I've murdered him. We do a quick detour, grab the disruptor, and fight our way out of the cell block again, past the hallway of foreshadowing, and finally meeting up with Barbara Gordon. Deciding to hit the old dusty trail, out to the roof and down to the sewers. We trudge our way through God knows what, and to some more combat. Okay, oh, wow. Okay, that actually was a lot closer than I wanted. I am so glad I didn't die where people poop. A few more short encounters before we find out exactly what happened to Black Mask in an absolutely beautiful cutscene.
Sionis showed up later, ready for trouble, and found it.
We find that Joker needs Black Mask's identity to get into the Gotham bank. So after we watch the worst freestyle breakdown since the Tokyo Olympics, we need to race to the bank to make the withdrawal of one psychopath. And I guess to save Black Mask too. And as we get to the grand reveal of the Joker, who honestly looks fantastic, I wanted to talk about something I couldn't in the last video. See, the first two games, both having Joker as its main villain, left people wanting something different. So when they announced Origins would have Black Mask as its main villain, people, myself included, were actually really looking forward to it. So yeah. But another quick stealth section and we're off to the steel mill to save the real Black Mask. As we make our way through, things start getting creepy. An ominous woman's laughter fills the halls. The Joker's thugs are going crazy. Well, crazier. And the lighting shifts to more of a green tone. Obviously the scariest color. But once we wrap up, we find one of the assassins. Or rather, they find us. As Copperhead hits us with a dose of her neurotoxin, causing us to stumble around and hallucinate about our insecurities. As we try to get to our antidote, the Copperhead fight begins. Copperhead splits herself into a bunch of copies, but only the real her takes damage. All the other ones dissipate in a cloud of smoke. Luckily for us, the concussion detonator will instantly dispel the fakes and stun the real Cottonhead. So that was pretty much the strategy I had. Dodge, thin the crowd with the detonator, and get some hits in. When I could, at least. Sure. When she hits her second stage, she'll dash out of the shadows and spawn in a few fakes too. This is pretty easy to dodge as long as you focus on the real one dashing in. She gives you plenty of time in between dashes to get rid of the fakes. Do that for a few times, and Alfred will send in the antidote. And once you get it, the fight is pretty much over. After getting the information about where the rest of the assassins are meeting, we make our way to the Gotham Royal Hotel. And this area has the part I was fearing the most before I even started this run, the Bane fight. But another easy stealth section, and we find out why I said we don't have to fight the Executioner anymore. Looks like there's a power outage. No, that's terrible. Looks like they gave him the chair. Good enough. With our newly flattened friend dealt with, we get the most overpowered gadget in the game, the shock gloves, letting us use the various electric panels around, as well as giving us a way of getting around the armored thug's defenses, which have honestly been a thorn in my side all game. We batter and bruise our way up until we reach Joker's Funland, which honestly makes me wonder how no one knew what the Joker was up to, because this had to take forever to build. You've got hostages tied to electric chairs, Simon Says minigames, and a roller coaster screaming around both it and the hotel in general. But after we clear a few fights and a quick stealth room, we take the elevator, and Bane shows us exactly why I was not looking forward to this part. The fight begins as Bane literally chucks us out a window and onto the ground below. And now on to the fight. The first phase is not terrible. You just gotta ultra stun and beat him down. It's when old Bane over here starts his Magic Mike performance that you gotta worry, revealing that he's flowing with a drug called Venom that increases your physical strength immensely. It's like steroids on steroids, which starts the second phase. And this one is a lot trickier, as when Bane is powered up, he is completely invulnerable, only being able to take damage after you briefly disable his Venom pack. He throws us out another window, where he then proceeds to use this time to turn into a ticked-off Thomas the Train, trampling our trachea with terrifying tempo. Afterwards, he'll do a slam attack where he'll finally be vulnerable again. Then we can hit him with the ultra stun beatdown combo again. Rinse and repeat, and we've beaten Bane. I was honestly shocked that I was able to do it on my first try. Well, second. I was fully prepared to restart here. So after that, I was on cloud 9. Now afterwards, the game gets easy, having us play as the Joker for a bit as he starts to indoctrinate his therapists, one Harleen Quinzel, or later, Harley Quinn.
Your friends call you Harley.
As we go back out, Alfred scolds us for acting like the Lego Batman and not trying to work with the police on this one. And speaking of, our next objective is to go back to the GCPD morgue and do an autopsy on one of Bane's Venom thugs. And as I arrive, I was nearly shot by a sniper, and I thought that meant that I needed to clear out the rooftop. I did not. But I did find out that the GCPD is employing metahumans.
Oh, the sniper's looking at me through the wall. Gotcha.
A quick look over the body reveals while Venom increases physical strength, prolonged use can actually lead to memory loss, which is very convenient if you know how this game ends. After that, we need to confront Bane. The tracker we placed on him before we jumped off the roof leads us to a hideout in the sewers, and at this point I've made it a habit of using some of my gadgets to take out the armored enemies before a fight even starts. A good tip for not having to worry about losing your combos easily. As we approach the signal, we discover that Bane has managed to learn our secret identity. No clue how, and now everything is at stake, both for us and for Alfred. So we immediately rush over to make sure nothing bad happens to him. What's that? We ignore Alfred because Firefly shows up on the bridge. Yeah. Young Bruce is kind of a jerk. So we make it to the bridge, which seems a lot bigger on the inside. But that size is paramount, as Firefly has planted 4 bombs in and around the bridge, and we disarm them with a nice mix of Predator and combat encounters. as we disarm them, I wanted to talk about something for this run. Throughout playing the Arkham games, I've always been confident in my ability to do the Predator sections, completely blazing through them and only really worrying about the combat. But on my second way through the train car area, I got cocky. Despite the jammer, despite not knowing how many enemies there were, I went in quickly, taking out the stragglers with stealth takedowns. I was briefly detected trying to remove the jammer, dropping the smoke bomb and taking him out, but I accidentally knock out Smashed, which alerted the others to my location. Running off, I hit a mine, removing all of my armor as a man with a shotgun dropped right in front of me. As I tried to get away, his shot took me down to 1 pip of life. I escaped, hiding in the vent outside the room as the unknown number of enemies still remained. With the jammer still active, I would need to take this part incredibly carefully, as even the slightest mistake could... Oh. Okay. Still being careful, I take out the last 2, getting my health back, and finally exhaling. Saved by some Batman-level plot conveniences. On our way to the last bomb, Firefly spots us early. After a short fight, he grabs the detonator and threatens to take down the bridge. But nothing happens. See, after we got to the bridge, we managed to inform Jim Gordon about the bombs. The bomb squad he sent managed to disarm the last bomb before Firefly could pull the trigger. We have another short fight with Firefly, launching glue grenades to immobilize him before finally taking him down. A job well done. Now we can go back to the cave and see Alfred. Oh, right. Bane. As we re-establish the connection to the Batcomputer, we find Alfred on a small ledge lower down.
I'm coming, Papa!
Pulling debris off of him, we reach him. But it's too late. Ignoring the fact that he shows up later in the series, he passes away in our arms. But then we remember the shock gloves, and what that one guy said in the hallway of foreshadowing. We shock Alfred back to life, and one of the people in chat has a second option, just in case Alfred doesn't pull through. And as we have our big sad boy hours, the radio tells us that Joker is trying to escape Blackgate prison. We head in, one last try to finally take down the Joker. Fighting our way through is simple enough, and even the Predator sections don't give us too much trouble. We enter the Panopticon, and the Joker gives us an ultimatum. Either kill Bane, or the heart monitor attached to him will activate the electric chair and kill the Joker instead. Halfway through the fight, Jim shows up, and does absolutely nothing to de-escalate it, gets himself caught, and raises the stakes once more. Huh. Maybe I should have done it all by myself. After finishing this fight with Bane, we lay into him with the shock gloves. Batman breaks his one rule not to kill. He breaks his one rule and kills Bane. The Joker manages to get away, and we go to unbreak our one rule and revive Bane. Bane, the incredibly strong, angry supervillain that knows both our secret identity and exactly where the Batcave is. Needless to say, Bane isn't exactly a morning person, because his response is to inject even more venom, turning him into the average professional wrestler from the 80s. And thus begins a really fun section with Bane, where we need to stealth take down him. But every time we do, he adapts, and can't be taken down the same way twice. After bouncing Bane around like a pinball, we have one last QuickTime event, stringing him up and definitely not killing him as 27,000 volts run through him. With Bane down, we still need to get to the Joker. One last combat section with Gordon by our side, and that's it. All that remains is one last showdown with the Joker. We quickly disarm him and beat him down, defeating the Joker and getting the thing we were after all this time. The Avatar Award! And also the achievement, I guess. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and everyone non-binary, thank you all so much for watching. I've been doing live streams more and more, but I still do love making these videos. And I will continue to do so whenever I can. So if you want to catch me live, follow me there. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe and like the video. But for now, I am Vengeance. I am the Knight. And I've been Monk, you've been wonderful, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.